Hello, everybody. I'm so honored today to get the chance to interview a mother and daughter about digital safety. And we're going to do something kind of cool. We're going to reflect because the the daughter is 17 now. We're going to introduce you to her here in just a sec. Daughter's 17, and the mom has several other kids. And the daughter here is going to talk to us about all kinds of really neat stuff. I want to welcome Hannah and Tammy Hugay from British Columbia. So welcome to both of you. I'm so excited to have you on here today. Talk to me a little bit about A, what you guys do, and then B, I want to just welcome you to the video.
Thank you. Yeah, great to be here.
Yeah, I've been working with like dance and acting, and I'm in school still, graduating this year. So social media is always part of my life.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. No, it's like I was saying earlier, it's a catch-up game. I have a small business that I've started spearheading more. So as Hannah got a little bit older, and being my youngest, it was like, okay, now start going on and yeah, no. So we've used social media in our home in multifaceted ways, through business, through being in touch with older kids, our older daughters, her siblings that are in different parts of the city, and
Yeah.
being like, oh my goodness, the grandchild's already doing this and that. And yeah, so it's
Well, here's what I want to talk to you about. First of all, really, I'm grateful that you both are on here. One of our biggest concerns with kids is getting a cell phone too early. And I know that's something I want you to bring up about when is the right age in your opinion. And I love your opinion because it's great. And then second, I want to talk a little bit about some of the examples that you might have of things that have gone right or wrong. And then third, I want to talk about how to shine online. I do believe that social is great, as you both know. So let's talk about, what age do you two believe that a student should get a cell phone?
I would personally say 14. Um, I think that is a good age because that's around grade 8, and you're past that middle school age. And I think you have a bit more awareness of what's going on online or what's around you. And I think under that, it's so easy to get caught up in the social norms of social media, following onto expectations. And at that age, you're still trying to fit out who are you, and then online has its own perception of who you are. And I think if you wait a while, you're able to really go online, but be strong in who you are, and then have a better stance on social media.
what
Yeah,
I
so you,
love about Hannah saying this is that when she was in grade 7, grade 6, grade 7, is like, Mom, everyone else has one, and why can't I have one? And what do I have to do to at the time get the iTouch or some form of a way of being able to reach out outside the home and not just having it be a music player. So it's neat to hear her say, as a mature young lady, that oh yes, no, 14 is a safe age, but I also know realistically kids are wanting that stuff a lot younger than that, and
Mhm.
that's where I think what you're doing is fantastic. Let's find a way to approach that in a positive way
Mm.
and be realistic. Is the fact that with the amount of working parents out there, and just being in touch with our kids, like, hey, I did awesome at that test today that I was super stressed about telling you about, and they can send us that little message at lunch, and having that little bit of touch connection with our kids throughout the day is fantastic, as long as we set up the right boundaries at the age that we choose for our family, when to start using that. And that's going to be different for everybody.
That's really wise. So, and Hannah, it is really cool to hear you say 14 now that you're 17 and you're wiser. But
Yeah.
yet, the same, your mom and I thought the same thing. We know, we all know, and of a lot of younger students that go, "Why can't I?" The peer pressure is really tough. So, what would you say to the parents that have an 8-year-old and that really is dying for a phone?
I think if they want a phone, I think it's good to they can have it for like games. But when it comes to social media, that's a whole nother game, and it can be so dangerous online. Like there's sides to the social media game that people don't know of. A lot of the average people don't know. Parents don't know, um, and that's just deeper into social media. I think if that child wants a phone, they can go ahead for the games, maybe messaging their parents. But in terms of social media, if they really want an account, their parents can handle it. So parents, I know 8-year-olds that their parents host their Instagram account. So the parents will post the pictures, and then that builds their reputation, but the kids aren't actually physically on their phone online doing the social media work. So I think having a parent oversee what is going on that phone, if that's really what the kid wants or what the parents will allow, then I think that's a better take on it.
Yeah, and again, stepping back a little bit more into what's realistic, you need to be okay. Why do you want one? Can you write me a story? Can you, in English or whatever your primary home language is, with all phonetically correct and all that, can you write me a story and tell me why do you want this phone, and what are you willing to I won't say give up, but what are you willing to contribute to have the responsibility of something as dynamic of a tool as something as a phone? Because we know that it's not just for calling. And though we can be the ones that are hosting, we also know they are smarter, and they will probably find a way to backdoor us and find another way to set up their own little Instagram accounts and their own social media accounts and their Snapchat accounts without us even really knowing about it. And that again is just starting right from the start. Let's be really open and honest. Like, we need to, not I don't want to call our kids out, but say, hey, you know what? I do know what's going on out there. I am aware that you are smart and that you will figure things out how to use this on your own. Let's set up some boundaries how we can keep that a safe, positive tool for you.
I love that. We have a phrase that we call using this device as a purpose instead of just a pastime.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
that teaches kids, hey, have some fun on it, but let's have a purpose. And I love what you said there, Tammy, about let's write out a report, a proposal. And in work, we have to, when we apply for a job, we kind of have to write a cover letter, which is a proposal. Here's why you should pick me. And colleges, an application is, here's why at your university you should pick me over all the other thousands. I love that, Tammy. That's a really great idea. And that purpose. What's that?
Feel it and share it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more. So we talked a little bit about the age that people should get them, and the anxiety you might have if you don't have it, and how to be wise on it. Let's talk about, now that you're 17, what are some of the things that you do? And Hannah, you help your mom a little bit with her Instagram marketing, which I love this dynamic, because we tell parents, A, dialogue with your kids about it. B, parents, turn your kids into the expert and learn from them. How does Instagram work? You're quite good at this. You're fearless. And I don't know that kids, no offense, Hannah, but I don't know that kids are the experts. I think they're fearless, and they'll try something and not be worried of breaking it, because they go, it won't break. It's fine. And that's really, students are like, hey, what do we have to lose? And parents are like, oh no, we're going to lose it all. And right. And that's kind of just the underlying effect when kids are like, hey, let's try it out. We're like a little startup. Hannah, what do you do for your mom's business? And then also, how does that dynamic work? Does it bring you closer when she's running your Instagram?
Well, yeah, for my mom's Instagram account, because she's a business owner, so I taught her like making it a business profile. Like, I think that was the first step. That's a new device on Instagram. She's able to have insights, gaining the more like followers, having more faces out there, putting herself in the world she's a part of, in terms of triathlon, because that's what her business is to do with, is personal training and being a coach. And so putting herself in that crowd, she'll gain that rep. And that was my goal for my mom, was when she goes to triathlon, people could recognize her, be like, oh, I've seen your account. Because not only as an account, but also as a kind of like a blog in some way. That was a very important key, I thought. And having her own tips and her own takes on what to prepare for, like if you're going to a triathlon, what makes your account stand out. And that was my goal for my mom.
And she's doing so good at it.
Yeah,
it's amazing how much I've learned in just a little bit of time that I started discovering, I'm like, my goodness, Hannah knows what she's doing here. She's like talking a language I don't really completely understand. And right there as a parent, I want to know what my kid knows. I want to know some of her languaging. I remember back when the internet first became more widespread, and when our now oldest daughter, she was in youth group, and the leaders there would talk to us like, hey, you know what, if your kid wants to communicate with you with an email, send them back an email, meet them where they're at, build that relationship with them, respect what they're learning and knowing. And I feel with Hannah, I want her to know that I totally respect how she sees things. And just because I'm a few years older and mom doesn't necessarily mean that what I know is better. And I've always got time to learn and grow from that. So high five, babe. You're doing great on with that with me.
It's so awesome to see you two you're learning from each other. But I love the business aspect as an entrepreneur and as I love that you two are working together on something. And I've done about 6 triathlons, so I'm a huge fan of what you do, Tammy. I think it's great. And so I think it's really cool. But I think what you're teaching other parents right now is it doesn't have to be a fight, right? A verbal argument, or a lot of parents go through this struggle. Hey, don't do this online. The internet is forever. Just trust me. Don't post this. And what does that make the student want to do at age 8 to 13? It makes them want to post, right? If you say, don't touch that hot stove, we as humans, we want to go and touch that thing. And so we tell parents a lot. The example, right? Let me give you an off-the-cuff question.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little program called Parent University that has videos for parents and has videos for kids. Parents watch them with their kids, and Josh teaches you. I teach you guys, here's how to get kicked out of Harvard with just a few Facebook posts. Here's why your best friend shouldn't have your password and only your parents should. What would a video be that, Hannah, I want this to come from you, or Tammy, you chime in as well. What would a video be that we should make for students that would be a good topic for them to learn from an outside trusted source?
That's a great question. So from an outside source that both parent and child will listen to and give
so that the mom doesn't have to be a bad person and go, don't do this. Is there a topic that you think is frustrating? Could it be when to get the phone? Could it be how bad anonymous social media can be to someone?
Yeah, my first thought with that, as I develop a thought with that, would be openness. Like what you hit on a little bit that you're observing with Hannah and I, is that there is a mutual connection, communication going on, and that hasn't always been that way. There were some frustrating times where I felt there was a little too much secrecy going on, and that's when we can get paranoid, and then we get scared, and then when we get scared we react, and then we're like, taking your phone away, I'm shutting your computer down, you can't have that, I'm cutting you off, you can pay for your own internet. And we just react because we're scared. We don't know how to handle what's going on. So if whatever is best for each household, and if there's 2 parents involved, be on the same page. Absolutely be on the same page with this. Have the conversation away from your child with the 2 of you. As the leaders of the home, you need to make sure that you guys are not going to be in conflict in front of your kids about what's right and wrong. Then come together with some basic understanding there. So I think openness is the most important thing, whatever age that is that anything that is kept in the dark can become dangerous and scary. The more things that are open in the light, whether it's going to be family passwords, hey guys, let's all pose for a group selfie, make it goofy, make it fun, like have your weekly thing where it's a connection with the family and checking in with each other, or family far away. So if as an outside speaker and educator for you, would be about keeping us all in friendly contact, keep us in the light, keeping each other in the light.
I love that. Friendly contact. That's really great. And that's helpful for other people as well. I mean, you've really just taught other parents. That's one of your secrets as well, right? Is friendly contact and working together.
It's never completely one. You always got to be working on it.
It's constant.
Yeah, that's really great. Are there any other tips or maybe examples that you'd like to share with other students or parents that might have a little bit of a frustrating time right now with social media?
I think as a student, you can be like very unaware of what people are seeing online. You don't realize once you post something, anybody could see it. Especially as you're talking about college. I think that's really important. I know people who post stuff, say at a party, and people will be like, we don't want that person working for us in terms of getting a job.
That happens with grown-ups too. We can make complete doorknobs of ourselves, and then we post that, and you go to work the next day and it's like, really?
Like you don't realize that what you're posting in terms of like parties or with friends, whether it's someone drinking or someone making fun of another person, those will all go on you, whether you get a job in the future or you're applying for college or even making a new friend, or just someone will be like, you did that or you posted that. And it's just not always the most appropriate
And I think
thing.
that comes back to when you were talking about kids being fearless online, not necessarily knowing everything and them not understanding consequences, is that they are still at an age, whether we like it or not, brains develop in phases, and there is not always a big picture long-term understanding of consequences at that age, whereas we're trying to reason with them to help them understand that consequences are real. And you know, it can be one bad choice can leave you with an emotional or physical scar for the rest of your life. And that is such a big picture, and so far into the future they have a hard time seeing that, but somehow finding a way to communicate that with them. So that would be another great thing for you to talk about, to come alongside us parents and back up when we're saying that sort of thing to our kids, that here's this industry professional that is also affirming what we're saying, and that helps.
Yeah, that's a great another video is here's have fun and ask your parents, what would the consequences of this be? Please explain to me. I'm open to that. And if we can't find one together, then let's do it, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because parents typically have that wisdom, but they don't know how to explain the wisdom. They mean the best, but they just say, well, don't do it because I don't know how to explain the example of what could go wrong.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, this has been really great. I want to leave you, Hannah. I want to leave you with the final thought. What would you say to students that are 14 right now that want to go to all the parties, that want to have fun, that maybe have a little bit of peer pressure? What would you say to them about their social media footprint and their activities?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you go and experience those things. I would say be careful, of course. Like, I wouldn't say go to those parties at 14, but whatever you do, because I can't control what you're gonna do, be careful what you post, and be careful whether it's Snapchat. Snapchat, I think, is the biggest one in terms of parties or going out or filming your friend drinking or anything. Like, it all goes on Snapchat, and Snapchat actually has a contract with you. When you sign up for Snapchat, they can use your Snapchat for anything. They can use anything you post on your story. They can use it for advertisement or post it on any account, and you wouldn't know. And so I'd say be careful of that, because you are so young, and then if you do something at 14, you don't want it to screw up your future when you're 17 or 20. And those things will last a long time, and they don't just go away. Social media never just goes away. So I think that's very important. Just be careful where you're posting and what you're posting, and what are your intentions when you post. Is it to hurt someone? Is it to hurt yourself? Or is it to gain attention? It's so important just to know what your intention is when you're posting.
Thinking about your long-term reputation, how important is it for you in September and what you go to in those first few parties of the school year? How important is it to you what people think of you for the rest of that school year? What reputation do you want to have with you?
You two are delightful. I can't tell you how much I just love this dynamic and you two working together. I'm sure it wasn't always that way, but you have such a special thing right now. So I love that. Thank you for taking the time to help us help other people. I really appreciate it. It's really great. Thank you. Those of you that are watching this right now on Facebook Live or listening, we are giving away this over the next couple months. We're giving away Light, Bright, and Polite, the book, for free. You just pay shipping and handling. We'll ship it anywhere in North America. This book teaches parents how to talk to their kids about digital safety. It's backed by really big companies. It's backed by organizations. And it's really the data that I've learned over the last few years. So we'd like to give you a free copy of it. You go to smartsocial.com and we ship it to you. And also on Parent University, we have videos that if you have younger kids and they're going through a lot, which we all are going through a lot, especially at that age, 8 to 15 is a really tough age because devices are everywhere. Screen time is a problem. And there are people out there that don't love your children as much as you do. And we want to make sure we can limit access to them as much as possible. So learn more about Parent University. Click the links below. We're here with you for the long term, and we want to be a part of your family. And we also want to make sure your kids are listening to you. And that's really my number one goal here at smartsocial.com. Thank you to both of you, to Hannah and Tammy. Thanks so much. You guys are delightful, and you're setting a great example for other parents. All of you out there, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day, everybody.